Hi everyone, this is Denise with Liquid Color, and I guess today we've reached oranges in our color mixing series. So we've done greens, we've done purples. I think I had plenty to talk about in those other videos, and this one might be a little bit more difficult, given that I don't really have orange on any of my palettes. So just like in the other two episodes, I do want to go ahead and show you what I do have in terms of tube color. But we are going to find that I have some pretty slim pickings. The closest thing that I have to an orange in this palette is my Hansa Yellow Deep, which is a warm yellow. I've got Quinacridone Burnt Orange, which is kind of more like an earthy, natural orange. Definitely not a secondary bright orange. And here's my Hodgepodge palette with a little bit of everything, little leftover paints, and lo and behold, I do have an orange in this palette. This is my Turner Pyrrole Orange. It's the only one that I have squeezed out onto a palette aside from my other colors, but let's go ahead and see if we can take a look at my swatch book to see if I have any others I can show you. So this is my swatch binder. A lot of you ask where I keep all my swatches after I do my videos, after I've swatched out new paints that I have, and they live here. I used to organize these by brand, so every page had a different brand on it, but I found, especially when I'm doing videos like this in my color spotlight, I was always looking for one type of color at a time, so I just reorganized these the other night. So here you'll see all of my beautiful yellow colors that I've got, front and back here. We've got some kind of random yellows and skin tones and pigments with white in them here. If I skipped a page, you can see how many versions of red and pink I have. I've got lots of blues to choose from, but lo and behold, I only have 7 lonely shades of orange to show you. Let me go ahead and take these out so they're a little bit easier to see. Alright, so the only secondary orange that I have, the only bright, like we think about it being orange that I have is this Azo Orange. Imgram sent it to me in my colors that I reviewed for them, so this wasn't even a color that I purchased, and I don't use it. I've never used it in a painting. I just don't find a use for oranges very often unless they're those natural tones. This is the Turner Pyrrole Orange that I had in this palette here, with all the Turner colors that I have kind of squeezed down to tubes. This is PO73, PO62. And then I have a kind of a wide variety of very reddish orange colors. Some of them even, this is cadmium red light, so technically that's a red color, but I put it with my other oranges because it was closer to the oranges, and otherwise my page would look very sad, not being able to be filled up. I've got Permanent Red Light, Vermilion, and then the Cotman Cadmium Red as well. So this is it. This is all I've got. It is worth mentioning, I just purchased this color here. This is Transparent Pyrrole Orange, which I know is very commonly used, especially when you're making dark colors. So I wanted to pick this up for when we mix our blacks later in this particular color mixing series. But the only orange that I really use on a regular basis is over on my natural tone page. I'll zoom in for you. It's this one right here. This is Quinacridone Burnt Orange, and I super love this color. It's gorgeous, PO48. So I use this all the time. And also a viewer, Allison, sent me this Chinese Orange by Sennelier, which is really pretty. It's made with Quinacridone Gold and a red tone. So that's it. That's really all the oranges I have. Now, aside from the fact that I don't use them very often, one of the other reasons that I don't have very many oranges is because I do find them very easy to mix. I have both warm and cool yellows as well as warm and cool reds, and I find that that gives me quite a variety to take a look at. So let's go ahead and start mixing. Alright everyone, right off the bat I want to apologize for the big difference in quality between the last segment and this segment. I am, as of right now, setting a rule for myself that I am no longer allowed to record at night. I had to reshoot the first segment of this video because the quality was so bad that I couldn't use it. So obviously my camera doesn't cope well in low light situations, and I will do a better job of making sure I can film during the day when I have better lighting. So Let's go ahead and get back to our color mixing. This is our normal 5x5 grid. Along the top row for our yellows or yellowish type colors in some situations, the first column is a new color for me. It's Lemon Yellow from Daniel Smith, which is not the same as the lemon yellow that we talked about in our Hansa Yellow White video, which is usually PY3. This is PY75. It's a very cool yellow. So when it mixes with reds, it is going to be kind of a more muted color because there's a lot more green in this yellow. Cricket, why are you being so loud with your toy? I'm trying to record a video here. All right, anyway, that lemon yellow is going to create more muted oranges with any red because of the fact that it has so much green in it. Next up, we have Permanent Yellow Light, which is PY154 from Mission Gold. This is a really nice neutral medium yellow, bordering on a little bit on the warmer side, but I use it if it's the only yellow I can use. I pick this one because it's right in between my other shades. I've got Hansa Yellow Deep, which is almost like a yellow-orange color. It's very, very deep and warm, so it makes beautiful oranges because it's so close to orange already. I've got Quinacridone Gold, which is that earthy natural gold tone, and I'm also using Yellow Ochre to show you kind of the more natural side of things. Along our red axis, or red and orange axis, I guess, I have Naphthol Red, PY112. This is a very, very warm red, and it's going to create very vibrant oranges, especially with my Permanent Yellow Light and Hansa Yellow Deep. I've got Carmine, which is a cool red. It's going to create some cooler oranges and slightly muddy oranges combined with my cooler yellows, but, you know, it's nice for a muted color. Then I have Transparent Pyrrole Orange. That's the new color I picked up, and this color has an incredibly strong tinting strength. I imagine that's why it's going to be so good to mix blacks when we take a look at that later in the series. But you can see there in the very middle of the grid with Hansa Yellow Deep, the colors are almost indiscernible, and I really tried to put more Hansa Yellow Deep in there than the Transparent Pyrrole Orange at the beginning, and I didn't have much success with that. Then I have two colors that aren't really reds, they're those really earthy tones. So I've got the Transparent Red Iron Oxide from M. Graham. This is a very orange version. It's almost like it's between Burnt Sienna and Quinacridone Burnt Orange. And then I also have Burnt Sienna at the very bottom, which of course is an earthy natural red tone. You can tell that the last two rows in this chart as well as the last column are going to create very muted earthy tones. The brownish orangish colors that I used on the red axis are going to create those deep, rich, warm browns, while the yellow ochre is going to create some really, really muted orangey red tones as well. So here I have a photograph for you of all of the pretty true-to-life colors depending on your monitor's calibrations. They look pretty good on my end of things. My favorite cross-sections are between the Naphthol Red and the Permanent Light Yellow and the Hansa Yellow Deep. Those are going to give you the most vibrant true oranges with those warm reds and warm yellows because they're both closest to orange. But on either side of the cool yellows and cool reds, you can get some nice muted tones. And using the earth colors, you can get a nice range of really, really warm browns and really muted red tones. Alrighty everyone, I hope that was helpful in choosing which reds and yellows you want on your palettes to help make the most vibrant oranges. And thank you so much for watching, commenting, subscribing, and of course, a special thanks to my patrons over on Patreon, including my producers, Paul, Chris, Victor, and Michelle. I couldn't do these videos without you. Thank you so much. And I will see you next week when we take a look at mixing browns.